Hello everyone, this is John Galt speaking, here with a live stream video for you guys where we're going to try to take a default third-person template and we're going to try to steal some animations out of the Lyra project and we're going to put them into the default third-person template, and then we're going to try to put together some Locomotion using some of the new plugins that are in Unreal Engine 5. I think that's when they put them in, right? They might have put them in earlier, but I didn't know. You guys know that I am not a big fan of Unreal Engine 5, and I'm also not a big fan. I'm not a big fan of Lyra, and I'm not a big fan of a lot of things. But we're going to try to do this anyway. I've already been dicking around a little bit with it, so I do have a bit of a reference project on my other screen that I might get looking at if we get stuck, but we'll see what we can do. Okay. So for those of you who don't know, you're going to have Lyra, right? So you guys can go get that free off the UE4 marketplace. And the reason is because there's some animations inside here that we're going to get. Okay. And beyond that, I just have a simple default third-person template, just like this. You guys know this, right? You live it, you love it, you know it. Okay. Okay. So the first thing we're going to do is get the animations that we're going to be using out of Lyra and migrate them into this project. Okay. So in Lyra, if you go into the characters folder and you go into the heroes and you go into the mannequin, not the UE4 mannequin, the mannequin, and then you go into animations, there's tons of animations in here. Okay. So underneath Locomotion, we're going to go into the unarmed animations. And what we're looking for here is male, right? We're only going to do male. So we're going to type MM underscore unarmed underscore jog. Okay. And what we're looking for is jog forward, jog backward, jog left, and jog right. That's all we're getting for now. Okay, so we're going to get jog backward. We're going to get jog forward. And we're going to get jog left. And we're going to get jog right. Okay, so we're going to right click here. And we're going to go to Asset Actions. And we're going to go to Migrate. Okay. Now, guys, when you do this, be very careful because this is going to try to drag half of the goddamn project with it into the new one. And we don't want that. All we want is the animations. Now, normally, I would just export these animations out to my desktop and then import them. But there's data on these animations, right? So we need to migrate it and not just export it. Otherwise, we have to put all that data that is on these animations, you have to put it back, right? Because I think it deletes it. I don't know. So we're going to uncheck a lot of this stuff. So we're going to start up at the top. We're going to uncheck that. And we're going to uncheck that. And let's scroll down through here. And let's see. If we uncheck game. Okay, so that right there kills all the animation. So we need to have that on. We don't need these foot FX modifiers and definitions stuff. That's the Locomotion. This is the unarmed, and we do need jog backward, forward, left, and right. We don't need any of these materials, so I'm going to uncheck all that. We don't need these meshes, so I'm going to uncheck that. We don't need this rig, so I'm going to uncheck that. And we don't need any of these textures. We don't need these physical materials. and we don't need any of these effects, and we don't need these physical materials. Okay. So the only thing that we really got checked here is these animations. So now I'm going to say, okay. And then it wants to know where it's going, right? So we're going to go to My Documents, Unreal Projects, and we're going to put this in My Project and select the content folder and just say go. Okay. Now we need one more animation, which is the idle animation. Okay. Actually, I don't know. We might need the jumps too. Let's put in the jumps. Okay. And, you know, there's a bunch of different jumps in here. I don't know exactly which one it is that we'll need, but let's just go ahead and let's just get all these jumps. So we're going to go to Asset Actions, and we're going to go to Migrate. And then we're going to do the same bullshit again, right? So we got to uncheck all this crap except for the animations. So okay, undo that, undo that, undo that, undo that, and that, and that, that. And then we're going to say go. Same place, right? So we're just going to hit go. And then we need the idle, okay? So let's do idle. And it's this one, right? The unarmed idle ready, right? So we'll right click here, Asset Actions, and then Migrate. And once again, we get to do this. Isn't this great? Don't you guys just love this? I mean, at least it lets you turn it off, right? I mean, that's not a bad thing. It'd suck if it did drag all that stuff with it. And some of you guys may be wondering, so why don't you just use Lyra? And the reason that I don't just use Lyra is because A, it's in C++ mostly. B, the animation system in this thing is so convoluted and complex that, you know, you have to have a 30-year degree in rocket trigonometry to figure the fucking thing out. So, you know, good luck to everybody that uses this. But you know, it's beyond my level of comprehension. Okay. So, I'll say the saying that I always say, I'm going to say it here. Really smart people on this planet take stupidly complex operations, whatever it is, and they keep working at it until they get it simplified down to just any normal idiot that can read can do it, right? That's the whole point of technology, and that's the whole point of education, is to take really complex things, break them down, and make them simple for the masses to understand and use. Dumbass people who have ginormous egos like to take something that's not really that complicated and just keep adding layers and layers and layers of complexity to it just to make themselves feel good so that they can jerk off to nobody being able to figure out how they did it. I'm not that guy, right? So we keep it simple, stupid. And that's exactly what we're going to try to do here. So we got all these animations out of Lyra. So I'm going to go ahead and close that down. And now I'm going to do some moving around stuff here. We're going to take all those animations that are in here. They all went into Locomotion, it seems. So in this Mannequins folder, you can see that we have an animation folder in here. So I'm just going to drag this entire Locomotion folder down to this animations folder, and I'm going to say move here. And then what we're going to do is we're going to go back into this characters folder, and we're going to delete this entire heroes folder, right? Because all we needed was the animations. So we're going to say delete and goodbye. Now, inside this Locomotion folder, we have a folder in here called Unarmed, and these are all the animations. that we wanted. Okay. Now there's no skeleton associated with these animations at this point because we didn't bring it, right? So we have to associate these animations with the skeleton that comes in this default third person template. There's a couple ways to do that. One is you just simply double click the animation and it says, hey, dumbass, we can't find your skeleton. And you click, would you like to choose a new one? And you click yes. And then you pick this skeleton, right? That's the new skeleton. That's the old skeleton. That's the new skeleton. That's the UE4 skeleton. We want the new one. So we go, okay. So that's one way to do it. Alternately, you should theoretically be able to select the first one, hold down left shift and select the last one, right click, and you go into asset actions and you go to bulk edit via property matrix. Okay. And then underneath, I think it's under animation here. It's asking you right here, where is the skeleton, right? So you can go over here and hit this little pick asset thing and pick that. And then you can hit file, save, not save all, just save. And now you just changed all those to that skeleton all in one go. Isn't that nice? That's nice. All right. And we'll do a save all. And when I was talking about the reason that I migrated these instead of just exporting them out is because of the data that's on them. Let me show you what I'm talking about here. If you look at like the jog forward, for example, do you see all this stuff that they've added to these animations? The foot plants and, you know, some of them have curves in them, et cetera, et cetera. Well, I believe, I don't know this for sure, but I believe if you just export it out and then import it in, I believe it deletes all this shit. I'm not 100% sure, but I think that's what it does. And we need some of this stuff. Okay. And I damn sure don't want to have to go through the process of recreating all that shit. Okay. Okay. Now let me bring Chad over here and say hello to everybody and explain what we're trying to do here. Let me get me a drink. Oh, I got me a root beer. Oh, so hello, Asman. What's happening? Hadn't seen you in a while. What's up, dude? Are you going to cover weapon switching? I don't know yet, right? It really depends on how stupid this is and how frustrated I get, right? You guys know I fucking hate trying to build locomotion systems. So we'll just have to see, okay? And then Nar asked, are you making the locomotion system from scratch and just ripping the animations themselves from the Lyra project? Well, what I'm going to try to do is expand the locomotion that comes in the default third-person template. I'm not trying to recreate Lyra's animation system, right? Because first of all, I have no fucking idea how they even did that. And second of all, it's too convoluted and complex for me. I try to keep it simple. But having said that, we are going to use at least one of the new plugins in Unreal Engine 5, which is orientation warping, right? We're going to try to set that up. And depending on, you know, one thing leading to another, we might put in distance matching and try to put the stops and the starts in for the jogs. Okay. But we'll just have to see. Once again, I don't like to make things complicated. So hello, Ripper Junkie. I am recreating asteroids with replication. Well, that's cool. All right, let's see if we can get this party started here. So I guess we need to enable the plugins, right, that we're going to be using. And I don't know which ones, right? So we're going to go up here to edit, and we're going to go to plugins, and we're going to go into the animation section here, and let's just look, right? So they added some fancy schmancy new plugins in here that's supposed to make everything magic, and we'll just see if it does. So they have a animation locomotion library, collection of techniques for driving. I don't know what that is, but we're going to go ahead and click it. Okay, I don't know if we're using that or not. I have no fucking idea. Animation warping, pose warping, orientation. So that one's definitely one we're going to be using for sure. So we'll go ahead and add that one. Contextual animation. I don't know what the hell that is. That don't sound like something that we need. A deformer graph, live link control rig, motion trajectory, motion warping. I don't know. We might use that at some point. So let's just go ahead and say, okay, we'll take both of those. Pose search. I don't know what that is. That don't sound like nothing we need. And then rig logic plugin. So that's it, right? So we're going to go ahead and do a restart here. And let's see if we can make something happen. Probably not. I'll probably get mad, cuss the engine out, and uninstall it. That's probably what's going to actually happen. But we'll see. Okay? All right. So now what we're going to do is go into this blueprints folder and let's spawn in here, right? So you guys all have seen this template a million times, so it doesn't need any explanation, okay? But what we are going to do is do strafing movement, right? So this is one of these dumbass characters that can run back towards itself, which is virtually of 0.0 use in 99.999% of games. So I don't know why they fucking set it up this way. But obviously they did. And really the only other thing is that this character comes with built-in IK, right? So you see how you can do your foot up on the ledge, right? You know, and yeah. So we're going to try to keep that intact as we do this. Okay. So the first thing we need is strafing movement. We don't need this, right? So let's do that first. So let's open up this character blueprint, and there is this thingamajig in here called orient, and it's probably under the character movement. You see that orient rotation to movement? That needs turned off. Okay. Also, there's this thing called use on. Maybe that's in the class defaults. No, maybe it's just yaw. Type yaw. There it is. Use controller rotation yaw. And that is under the class default. So that needs to be turned true as well. Okay. And then we'll compile it and save it. And now let's see if we got strafing movement. Right. So always point forward. Right. And of course you can see this is where we're going to have to fix shit, because obviously we don't have the right animations for this type movement, but that's why we went into Lyra and brought that crap in here. It's so that we would have. Okay. Now the next thing that I'm going to do is jettison the female mannequin for the male mannequin, because that's the animations we got was for the dude. So we're going to go in here and we're going to go into the mesh here, and we're going to change this over to the mannequin Manny dude, and we're going to change the animation blueprint over to the Manny blueprint. And for some reason, which is beyond me, this rotation here is set to 270, right? And if I'm not mistaken, this is supposed to be -90, and this is also supposed to be -90. Voila. So I have no fucking idea why that was all jacked up, but it was. And maybe we'll move this camera boom up just a pinch, about right there, maybe. And now let's spawn in here and see what we got. So we got the dude and we got strafing movement, and that's exactly what we're after. Okay. So now here comes the fun part, guys. This is where we get to go into this freaking animation blueprint that Epic made and go, what in the actual hell are they trying to do in here? Okay. Okay. Speaking of, let's move that animation blueprint wherever the hell it's at. Okay. We don't need the Quinn one. right? So we're going to go ahead and completely jettison the Quinn animation blueprint. And we're going to take this Manny one and we're going to move it into the blueprints folder here where our character blueprint is. And we're going to open it and let's get cracking, right? So this is the default animation blueprint. Okay. And so we're going to go into the anim graph in here. And essentially what we're going to be doing is that one of those plugins that we enabled, it has this thing called orientation warping. Do you see it right here? Orientation warping. That is essentially what we're going to be doing. So for now, I'm going to bypass. I'm just going to come straight out of the back of this and go here. And it will create that local to component. And then I'm going to go here and it will do that. And we'll go ahead and compile that and save it. And the orientation angle, I'm going to set this to 90. And let's see if we can recompile that and save it. And it didn't do shit. Oh, it's because we haven't set the node up yet. Duh. Okay, well, let's just set this back to 0 for now. And let's set this node up. Okay, so when you select this orient warping, it's got all these damn settings and stuff over here that you have to set up. Okay. Now, another good idea is if you look at the skeleton, you need to know exactly the spelling of these bone names. Okay. Now, generally, you would only put 3 spine bones in, but you can see that this character actually has 5 spine bones. But I personally put in the neck bone and the head bone as well. So we need to put in all these bones in that orientation warping thingamajig, and they're all lowercase, right? So here's what we're going to do. We're going to select that and we're going to say spine bones. And remember, there's 5 spine bones, but there's also 2 neck bones and a head bone. So we're going to add 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And let's just start filling these in, right? So this is going to be spine 1. And this is going to be spine 2. And spine 3. Spine 4. Spine 5. Okay. And then we need 2 neck bones and 1 head bone. Okay. So we're going to put in neck 01, neck 02, and the head. Okay. Now it's wanting the IK foot root, right? So we're going to click that, and there is a IK foot root down here at the bottom somewhere. IK foot root. So it wants that bone, and it wants the IK foot bones, right? And so there's 2 of those. So let's add those. Maybe we should do that. Okay. So IK foot left and IK foot right, and compile and save. And now let's see if we put in 90 in here, if it does anything. Oh, look at that. It rotated him. Let's see here. It doesn't look like. I mean, he's supposed to be at exactly 90 degrees here, right? And it doesn't look like it is. Maybe that needs to be 1-to-1. Cool. Hmm. Interesting. Oh well, we'll see about that as we go through here, right? I mean, the worst it could do is blow up. So let's set this back to 0. And we're going to move that node, right? So let's take this here and this, and we're going to hit Control X to cut it. And then we're going to go into Locomotion, and let's actually, you know what? Let's leave this intact here, and let's just create a new state, and we'll call this idle _1. Actually, you know what? Let's just do this. Let's take this whole thing here and hit Control D and duplicate it. Okay. And then we're going to come out of entry into here, and we'll just leave that alone for now. That's the stock one. And this is the one that we're going to dick with right here. So let's go into walk run, and then we're going to hit Control V, and we didn't get the damn node. Well, that's okay. Oh shit, that means we're going to have to set it up again. Let's hit Control Z a couple times here. See if we can get that back. I don't want to have to set that node up again. Damn it, Galt. Pay attention to what you're doing. There it is. Okay, stay right there. Don't move. Let's go back in here. Hit Control D to duplicate that. Come out of here into that. And now let's go back and fetch that so we don't have to set that stupid node up again. So Control X. And then back in here into walk run. And then we hit Control V, and voila, there it is. Okay, so we are not going to be doing a blend space. We're going to do this a little bit differently. Okay, so we're going to delete this blend space, and let's see here. Wow, we're going to have to get the orientation angle. Anybody got any idea what an orientation angle is? I don't have no idea. All right, so let's move this up here out of the way, and let's think about how we're going to do this without using a blend space. Okay, so the idea here is going to be that we get we're going to get jog forward, and we're going to get jog right, and we're going to get jog backwards, and we're going to get jog left like this. So in between each of these, we're going to have one of these. Drinking a root beer, guys, so you'll have to excuse my grottiness. Okay, and we're going to need a way to switch in between these, but for now, let's just go ahead and duplicate this again. And again. And again. Okay. So That's what we're going to do. Now, we need a way over here to select which one of these actually plays, right? First, let's just see if we can get the orientation angle, okay? So let's go ahead and plug this one in, jog forward, and we will compile that and save it. And it wouldn't be the ground speed. Like, I'm positive that's not what the orientation angle is. We also need to change this idle out, right? Because this is the default idle that this third person project comes with. And we actually got the idle out of Lyra and put in here. So let's go ahead and replace that with that. They're probably the same damn idle, but just to make sure that it conforms, we will do that. Okay, so we're going to have to get an orientation angle. Okay, so we're going to, let's just go ahead and put a sequence here. Hold down S and left click, and let's bring a new pin out of here. So we don't want to mess with any of the shit that they've already did, right? So we don't want to mess with any of that bullshit. So we're going to need the movement component, right? And they've already got some references in here, so they probably already have a reference to the movement component. And they're just casting to the character. And, well, I mean, I guess that'll work, right? I mean, Epic built this. It should, shouldn't it? They didn't cast to the third person character. They just casted to the generic character. But I assume it'll work. I don't know. I guess we'll find out one way or the other, huh? Okay, so we're going to get the movement component, and we're going to get the velocity. Did they actually put the velocity in a variable in here? Essential movement data. Yeah, they did. So we don't even need that. We just need to get the velocity. Go, Epic, you go. Okay, and I'm going to, now, how did they get the velocity? That's exactly what I figured they did. So the velocity of the character, guys, just to be clear here so that we're all on the same pages, the velocity of the character is in every direction, right? So it's up, down, left, right, forward, left. It's all the directions. Well, sometimes you can see here where they took the velocity and they got the vector length x, y, and they set that to the ground speed. The reason they did that is because it omits the up-down speed, right? Because sometimes when you mix in the up-down speed in your movement, it messes things up, right? Because up-down, you don't want that to affect really the, you know, forward, backward, left, right, or whatever. So what we're going to do is take the velocity and we're going to break it. We're going to say break vector. And then we're going to turn right around after we break the vector. And we're going, I mean, we could use the same thing that they did, right? We could get the vector length XY, but I want to show you guys, let me show you guys what that is, right? That function right there, let me show you what that is. It's this. You take the velocity, you take the vector, you break it, and then you turn around and do make vector, and you just plug in the X and the Y, and you omit the Z because the Z is the up down velocity, and you don't want that. Okay. Okay. And then we're going to be doing a calculate direction. Okay. Calculate direction. And that is going to be the velocity that we need. And we also need the base rotation. So they've stored the character in a reference here. So we'll get the character, and then we will say get actor rotation. Okay. Like so. And that will go into the base rotation. Like that. And then this is probably already normalized, but let's go ahead and do it again just to be safe. Let's say normalize axis. And then we promote this to a variable. And this becomes direction. And we will plug that into then 0. And let's go ahead and compile that and save it. And oh God, this is already making my brains hurt. So we're going to have a unique orientation angle for each direction, right? So we're going to need one for forward. We're going to need one for right, backwards, and left. Okay. But for now, let's just do forward and see if we can even make this shit work, because this may not even work, guys. I don't know. I really just don't know. So let's create a variable in here and let's call it orientation angle F for forward. And let's make it a float. And we will compile that and save it. And what we're going to be doing is taking the direction, get direction, and we're going to be setting the orientation angle. And so if we're going forward, right, this would be minus, subtract, and it would be 0, right? Because if you're going forward, you don't need to do anything, really. You know what? We might as well just go ahead and make these damn things, because I know we're going to need them. Okay? And we're going to put another sequence in here. You guys love sequences. Don't pretend like you don't like sequences. All right, we're going to do this. And yeah, we need, okay, so we got forward. Let's just go ahead and make them. God damn it. Let's duplicate this. And this is going to be right. So we'll replace the F with an R. And let's duplicate it again. And this is going to be B for backwards. And then we'll duplicate it one more time. And this is going to be L for left. Okay. And let's compile that and save it. And so let's duplicate this minus node. And plug this into the top. Come on now. Don't act like you don't want to plug up. And this one is going to be for right. Okay, so let's bring in right and set it. And this will be, so if you're going right, you need the the angle offset to be 90. Isn't that right? Okay. And let's go ahead and duplicate both of these and hook in the direction here. This may not even work. I don't have no idea. So if you're going backwards, you're going to need, yeah, so this will be for backwards. So we will set this. So if you're going backwards, you're going to have to subtract 180. Like that. And then if you're going left, you're going to need to subtract negative 90. Like that. Okay. And we're going to put, you know, let's put these in each individual one in its own pen, just because I know you guys love this. So let's do that. So let's add a pen. Add one more pen. And that is how we're going to get our orientation angle. And if that don't make sense, it's probably because it's not supposed to, because nothing I do makes any sense. It makes perfect sense in my head, okay? Because I know what that orientation warping node's going to do. It's going to rotate your damn bones. Well, if you're already running in one direction, you have to compensate for the rotation that it puts on those bones, right? Isn't that how that's going to work? Okay. Let's just see if we got anything. I mean, do we have anything at all? Okay. No, I'm pretty sure you can add as many sequences to pins to a sequence as you want. Okay, so let's go. Where the hell are we going again? Back in the anim graph? No. Yeah, anim graph. Open, some bitch. And we need to go into walk run. Okay, so we don't need this ground speed anymore at this point. And now we have our orientation angles, kinda, right? So we put forward into forward, like this. And then this one is, what the hell is this one? This is right, goes here. And then we have backwards, goes here. And left goes here. You know what? We deleted that blend space out of here. I wonder if we just bring this in here. Let's just try it with a blend space, right? And let's see what we can do here. Why did you guys let me delete that ground speed variable? Why'd you do that? You shouldn't have did that. Right, so let's do a little bit of experimentation before we continue on with this endeavor here. So let's just plug in that into this orientation warping dealio here. I'm pretty sure this ain't going to do shit, but let's just see. Yeah, I mean, it kind of does. And of course, we got no backwards. But it did give us, you know, kind of straightforward left and forward right. Do you guys see that? It did kind of do that. It looks a little funky when you go straight to the left, though. I mean, if we was using a, I don't know, let's try it both ways, okay? Why not? I've got that kind of time. Let's do this, man. Is there a, we'll try it both ways, right? One of them's a little bit more complicated to set up, right? Obviously, but who the hell knows? We'll see what happens here. Where, oh, where is the blend space? It's right there. Okay, so let's make a new one. Let's see here. How the hell do you do this again? Who am I? Blend space. We need a 2D blend space, not a 1D, right? So let's do this. And that'll be for the mannequin, and we will call this BSMM. Let's just call it jog test. There, you guys remember that name. And so this is going to be the horizontal axis is going to be direction. And that's going to be negative 180 to positive 180. And we want to snap to grid. The vertical axis is going to be speed. And I don't know, what the hell is the movement speed of this character? Why didn't you guys write that down? I don't remember. Do you remember? I don't know. I didn't build this shit. Who set this? Walk speed 500. So we will set that to 500. Like that. And then we'll drag in these animations in here, right? So idle is going to go on the bottom. And then jog forward is going to go right here. Oh, wait, let's do snap to grid on that one too, because reasons. Okay, jog left is going to go here. Jog right is going to go here. And then backward will go all the way over in these corners like this. And we can go ahead and populate the whole bottom with idles. There it is. Yeah, let's go ahead and put idles all the way on the bottom. And save that. And now let's go see what that did, right? So let's go back into the animation blueprint. And now we're going to put in the jog test. And we're going to delete that. And we're going to plug that back in. We're going to put speed in. And we're going to put the direction in. Like that. And we're using the forward angle, which is 0, right? So I don't know how the hell that was even working a minute ago, to be honest with you, right? Because that's 0. So let's see here. Ah, see there? That's exactly what I fucking figured would happen. I mean, there's a couple ways that we could do this. It overcompensates, right? So see, we're going forward, and it looks okay when we go forward right. But when you go straight on forward, look at that. It's jacked up. And same for left, see? So yeah. So that ain't even going to work, but that's okay, right? I mean, there's probably a way to make that work, but I think the original way we was going is probably the better route. Okay, just breaking these apart this way is probably the better route. So now here's the dilemma, and here's the riddle wrapped inside a conundrum. So now we need a way over here to determine, okay, are we actually going forward? Are we going left? Are we going right? Right? We need a way to know that. And then we need to set a way to pick, okay, if we're running forward, use this one. If we're running right, use this one. If we're running, yeah, we're going to have to build something to do this, right? So you could do this two different ways, right? I don't know which way you guys would want to do this. But there is a node in here called blend by int. Oh yeah, that's exactly wrong. Where the hell is it? I know there's one in here. Right there, blend poses by int. See that? And so what you could do is set up ints, right? So you would need 4. And you could select this node and you can say add blend pin. And you would need 4 of them, right? You would need one for forward, one for right, one for backward, and one for left. And then you could drive it by an integer. So that's one way that you could do it. Another way that you could do it is with an enumeration, right? So maybe we'll go the enumeration route. How about that? Okay, so we're going to create an enumerator, right? We're going to put it right here in our blueprints folder. We're going to right click and we're going to go to, is it miscellaneous? Nope. Is it blueprints? Yes. Underneath blueprints, we're going to create an enumeration. Okay. And we're going to call this E_directions, like this. Then we're going to open this thing and we're going to add 4, right? 1, 2, 3, 4. And it's going to be forward, and then it's going to be right, and then it's going to be backward, and then it's going to be left, like that, and then save it. That's it. That's all you put in there. Now we need to store that in a variable inside here, because that's what we're going to use to change it, right? So we're going to create a variable and we're going to call it E_directions. And we're going to change it from a Boolean to the type, whatever we named that enumerator, right? So that'd be E_directions. Okay. And compile it and save it. And then we're going to right click here and we're going to say blend. Where the hell is it? It's in here somewhere. Right there. See it? It comes up in here after you create your enumerator. Blend poses E_directions. Do you see this? And if you right click this, you can see that we can add forward, right, backward, and left. And this variable that we created, we can use that as the active value. And now we can change it based on some logic we're going to set up to say, if you're going forward, use this one. If you're going right, use this one. If you're going backwards, use this one. And if you're going left, use this one. And that is what will go into the final output. So that's the plan. Now we just got to figure out, okay, well, smart ass. Now how the hell do we figure out what direction we're going? Well, I'm glad you asked that. I'm glad you asked that because I have no idea, honestly. The only thing I don't like about this is that it gives you this default pose up here. Let's just put idle in as the default pose. just so it'll shut up. See how it's got this note down here? It says, dumbass, default pose ain't hooked up. You better plug that shit up if you want this stuff to work. So if for some reason we end up in the default of this enum, it's just going to play the damn idle animation. Okay? That's fine. Don't panic. That's fine. So now we get to go back to the event graph. And I guess we can just put some logic out here on the end of this to detect the directions so that it knows which one of them it knows what direction we're going in. All I know is we're going that way. Okay. So what we're going to have to do here is some comparison. So we're going to take the direction and we're going to say, if this is greater than, and we're also going to compare it to if it is less than or equal. Okay. So let's say less than or equal. Okay. And these are going to be combined with an and operator. So type and pull out of this and say, and come on, work with me here. We need this and boolean here. We're going to do this. And we're going to hold down B and put a branch here. And we're going to plug this up. And we're going to dupe this 4 times, right? So we need 4 of these, 1 for each direction. So there's 2, and then we'll do these again, dupe them again, and we're going to do these like this. And false is going to go to here on each one of these. So false goes to here, false goes to here, like this. And we need to plug these up, right? So that goes into direction, that goes into direction, that goes into direction, that goes into direction, that goes into direction. Do y'all want me to say it again? And that goes into direction. And we shall compile that and save it. Okay. And we're going to bring in this and we're going to say set. And if this one is true, we'll put in the values over there in a minute. If this one is true, that's going to be forward. So let's dupe it. If this one is true, this is going to be right. And let's dupe these together here like this. And if this one is true, this is going to be backwards. And if this one is true, this is going to be left. And now we get to go over here and talk in Boolean variables and see if we can have a stroke. Okay. So to figure out if we're going forward, if this is greater than negative 45 and it is less than or equal to 45, that means you're going forward. Okay. Now to check to see if you're going right, this needs to be greater than 45 and less than or equal to 135. Okay. What are we on here? What are we on here? Oh, we're on backwards. Backwards, this one needs to be or, not and. Okay, so let's take this one and change this over to an or. Okay, and to see if we're going backwards, this needs to be greater than 135 and less than or equal to negative negative 135. And to see if we're going left, this needs to be greater than negative 135 and less than or equal to negative 45. And compose that and save it. And I think it'll work. Right? You guys ready for this? It'll either work or it'll blow up in my face. One of the two. What do you think? Let me get me a drink. Place your wagers over there. Is this actually going to work? I don't know. Let's see. So if we go forward, hey, look at that. And if we go backward, hey, look at that. And if we go right, hey, look at that. And if we go left, hey, look at that. And then if we go forward, right, look at that. And if we go forward, I ain't got enough room here. I need to blow that wall out over there. If we go forward left, look at that. And then if we go back right, look at that. And if we go back left, look at that. What about that shit? We did it. So there. That's it. Game over. I'm going to blow this wall out over here. Boom. And let's put in a... How the hell do we even do this? I don't even know how to operate this anymore. All right, select mode, landscape. Okay. And hit go. Oh, great. We just buried everything. That's always awesome. But that's all right because we can pick this shit up. Why does everything have to suck that Epic builds? I don't know, but it does. I mean, their engine, I guess, don't suck, but all their little crappy projects and shit they put out and put together, they all suck, if you ask me. Oh, no, we don't want to move those. Leave those alone. Wasting entirely too much time. There. Now let's pick this sumbitch up. And get it out of the damn dirt. How about now? Okay, go. Look at that. Now we got some mountains to climb. So, what I was trying to say... Wow, that's a big ledge. We got forward right. We got forward left. Oh, wow, he switches after a while. Look at that. Well, I guess that's all right. Forward right, forward left. We got left. We got right. We got backward. We got back left. We got back right. Oh, he switched again. Well, I mean, you know, everything can't be perfect. That's close enough. right? Close enough for horseshoes and hand grenades. And that is a simple locomotion system. No stops, no starts. I don't even mind that jump, right? I was going to replace that jump with the jumps I brought in from Lyra, but I don't mind that. Maybe it might look a little sissified. I don't know. And check this out. We still got our IK intact. How about that shit? And we didn't have to rebuild their entire damn blueprint either, so that ain't terrible. Oh, there is one more thing that we need to do here. I just noticed he's got a bit of a hitch in his giddy up with his feet. Check this out. This is another reason why I migrated these animations instead of just exporting them. You guys remember me telling you about the data that's on these? Do you see how it's got these footprints and shit in here already? Check this shit out. So you can use a sync group, right? So if you select jog forward, you can create a sync group. So I'm going to call this jog. And we're going to change this from method to do not sync. We're going to change it to sync group. And we're going to compile that and save it. And we're going to set every single one of these to jog, spelled exactly the same, and sync group. Jog and sync group. Jog and sync group. And now that data that's in them animations, it will sync them so that it keeps the feet better in sync. See? Which is a good thing, actually. It's still a little flaky, but whatever, that helps. See there, it didn't hitch as bad when he was switching from one to the other. So that's better. Put them in that sync group. Okay, now what are we going to do? That's about as complex as my locomotion systems get, right? I don't put in the stops and the starts and all that bullshit. Because frankly, I don't give a shit, right? People try to go for uber realistics movement in games, and I'm thinking to myself, it's a fucking game, right? Why do you want to spend 6 months trying to perfect a movement system to try to make it look more realistic, right? I mean, I just build simple shit, guys. I mean, seriously. Now, you know, we could put, you know, there's other animations in that Lyra project. There's, you know, rifle animations, there's pistol animations. So now that this is set up this way, right, you could easily implement, you know, the rifle animations as an example, or the pistol. Well, you would have to make an aim offset too, right? Because right now, the animation warping is moving the head of this character, you know, so that his head stays facing forward regardless of which direction he's going. But he has no up down. You know, you could put in I guess you could put in a 1D aim offset. And of course, if you had a weapon, you would definitely want an aim offset for that. It definitely helped them feed out by doing that sync group. It still looks derpy because there's no stops and starts and stuff, but you guys don't think you can break that shit too? There's no foolproof animation system. Everybody can do bullshit and break it. That's why I don't put too much time into it, because the people are going to break it anyway. Well, that animation warping thing, that works pretty good, I guess. See, because these animations, there's no forward left, forward right, back left, and back right. These Lyra animations don't have those. Well, by using that animation warping, you can simulate those animations that are missing. Because it twists the spine bone, apparently. Well, that's pretty good. I believe I'm just going to leave it at that. So that's how we did it right there. We're not even using a blend space. We're playing individual animations for each direction. And then, depending on the direction in the event graph, by doing this bunch of bullshit right here, we're getting that to select which one of these it needs to use. And then the angle, the orientation angle, is the direction minus these values. And then we're setting each one of those individually, which that could probably be set up on a damn enum too. Probably, I don't know. Math is hard. So it didn't take much to get that. And we definitely didn't have to go dig through all their bullshit. I have no idea how they did this. It makes my brains hurt. So now, if you wanted to implement different weapons, right, you would create another enumerator, just like this, the same way that we did this. And it would go over here, and you would have, if it's the unarmed, pick this one, and then under it you would have rifle, and then you would have pistol, and then you would have shotgun. And you would use that same type deal here to say that if you're unarmed, do this animation. If you're holding a rifle, do this animation. If you're doing a pistol, do this animation. And that would be exactly how you would do that. That's how I would do that. And I would store that value, that enumerator, on the weapon, so that when the weapon goes into the character's hand, it automatically switches the animations over. I guess. Let's save all this. We didn't use any of this. Actually, we're still using the jump. I'm getting rid of the Quinn stuff out of here. And You know, maybe we should replace the, I mean, we're not using either of these blend spaces. We can get rid of that. And we're not using the idle. And we're not using that or that or that. So we can get rid of. I guess we could put the other one so there's a fall loop. What is that? It's just a damn in-air animation. We brought in all this other stuff. Let's see here. I mean, that's the same damn animation, is it not? All right, fine. Let's go put those in. And then we can get rid of all these default animations out of here. Oh, great. We broke it. What the hell? This is idle. Why are you giving me shit? Oh, I know why. It's because we didn't delete that shit out of there. In here. We still got this in here. Don't need that no more. We created a new one. But we do need to change those jumps. Where the fuck are the jumps at in here? Ball loop. Jump. That'd be that one. And then we have jump. What is this? What's this one look like? That's from the ground to up in the air. So that would be, wouldn't be apex, would it? No, I don't think it would be that. Jump start. Jump start loop. Wait, what is this again? Well, fuck, which one of them is it? Well, it wouldn't be that one. So then that means it would be that one. Oh, wow, it's in the ground. I'm sure that's fine. Who makes this shit anyway? Epic. You boys are going to have to tighten up over there. And then there would be a land animation. Okay. They did an additive animation here. So we need jump recovery. What is that? I guess that would be it. There's their fall loop, a fall land. I don't know. Does it matter? We'll put that one in. But it's got to be switched over to be additive, right? So we need to open that animation and we need to switch it to additive. Mesh space, or is it local space? I don't remember. Well, I'll tell you how we can find out. Open this one, right? And it says, what does it say? Local space from this animation frame, and it's on 26. So we'll just set it the same way, right? Why not? Local space frame from this animation, and that one was set to 26, which I don't have no damn idea. This thing ain't even got 26 goddamn frames in it, I don't believe. 17 or 12. It ain't gonna work. Fine. Who even cares? And then we can get rid of that. Which then means we can get rid of this entire Manny folder. Goodbye. Now let's go see how bad we broke the jump. Oh yeah, that looks like ass. The default jump looked better than that one, but who cares? Okay. Well, guys, I guess that's the end of the stream, right? I mean, I done what I accomplished or wanted to accomplish, which was, you know, get a basic locomotion system going. Stops, starts, pivots, vaults, slides. I'm not putting all that shit in. That's ridiculous. From here, the only thing that I would do would be different animation sets, right? So I would put in the rifle, the pistol, and the shotgun from the Lyra. I would put those in. I would put in aim offsets for all of them. And I would potentially do turn in place, right? But I wouldn't be putting in stops, starts, pivots, and I wouldn't be doing that shit. Like literally, I wouldn't. And just so you guys know, it ain't because I don't know how, okay? Because a lot of people, you know, they come here and they say, "God, you don't want to do that because you don't know how to," right? Well, look, guys, look. Let me show you something. Okay, let me just show you something. It ain't because I don't know how. Okay? Because, let me tell you why. Because, watch very closely. I do know how. But for the trouble that you have to go through in order to fucking make that work, it is not worth it, in my opinion. And that's why I don't bother doing it. I did it just to see how this new distance matching and all that stuff works. And that's what this is using. stops and starts with distance matching, and it still looks like shit to me. It still pops, and it was a fucking nightmare to set up, right? You see all this? That is for stops and starts. And that ain't it, right? You see all this? That is for starts. Do you see all this? That is for stops. And what's worse than that is each one of these also has functions to it. So see, it ain't that I can't do it. It's just that for the amount of work and trouble that goes into it, it ain't fucking worth it to me. It doesn't add that much to a game. And it still doesn't blend right. Exactly. Anyway, whatever. I'm going to end the stream here, guys. So, the orientation warping is that with aim offsets, other animation sets, and of course your montages for like firing the weapon, reloading the weapon, and all that stuff. That's about as complicated as I would get. I wouldn't be putting in stops and starts and, you know, leans. If you're going up a slope, it leans the character. Screw it, guys. It's a game. Ain't worth it. So with that, I appreciate you guys hanging out. This is John Galt, and we will see you in another video in another time. Have a good one, fellows and fellettes. Where's the damn stop button?